Hey everybody, welcome to the Gootz cast for the 23rd of May. I am here today. We're going to be doing the Double or Nothing post show, but I'm not with Andrew Lee because he's too cheap to buy this pay-per-view. I'm here instead with Kyle Lewis. Kyle, how are you?
What's going on, everybody? I'm doing well considering the circumstances. Just saw some great wrestling, so
Well, we
I'm doing
saw a small part.
well.
Let's not. We'll get into it in a second.
Okay,
Kyle,
great main event.
how's your week so far?
My week personally has been fine. Just kind of working and just still staying indoors. We're still in pandemic time, so I don't leave. Maybe to the store or something. Even then, I'm masked up at all times. I look like I'm in Mortal Kombat. Even to get the mail, I'm like, I don't want to take a single risk. I don't. I'm so too cautious about it.
That's better than have. I went the last 2 days for a walk in the park with my dog. I have a park really far from my house, so I just figured I need some exercise outside. And the park both days was just mobbed. I wanted to go Thursday, Friday. I'm like, well, it won't be that mob. It won't be that busy. And no, it's fucking busy.
Oh yeah.
People have no masks on. They go right up to me to talk, and that's why yesterday I kind of changed my mind. I'm like, I think things are gonna go back to normal faster than we think. I just think once you open the faucet a little bit and the water comes pouring out, I think people are gonna accelerate the reopening process. I don't think we should, and I think it's gonna get worse. And that leads into my criticism of a lot of stuff that they did tonight.
Yeah.
But because I think they're feeding into this "it's over" bullshit when it's really not.
No, not at all. I mean,
No.
I remember. I think we talked about it just a little while back.
That's not out yet. So this is actually first. So.
Yeah. Well, now this is brand new, and when you guys see that, it'll be like when you watch a Raw that was 3 weeks old in '96.
Yeah.
But we mentioned that once the weather got hot, people were gonna get stupid. And the weather's hot, and people are getting stupid.
And they're pretty stupid. And I try to walk fast to the park. I had to stop because I don't know if you have a Boston Terrier, but they get over exhausted. So you have to stop. So I did have to sit at a bench for a little bit with just for her sake, not really for mine.
Yeah.
But I try not to go near people, and people just go, "Oh, I love your dog." They're just going right up to me to talk. Even hot chicks.
Well, hot chicks are always great, but not at this time.
Not at this time. I'm like, I don't trust you, hot chick.
My dad said this about dog. He's like, he doesn't understand it. You get a dog, and people just invade your space no matter what, just to be like, hey man, you got a dog. Let me touch it. Let me do this. I don't know you.
It's a pandemic. I'm just trying to get some exercise and do a nice long walk.
Exactly.
But now. I didn't realize the park was gonna. I mean, people are in their fucking bathing suits.
Yeah, people they don't care. Especially here. I saw a report about Upper West Side. People just hanging out outside the bar, and you're just meanwhile, you go to the neighborhood like mine, and God forbid you have your mask half off, people get arrested.
Where do you live again?
Like that. I live in. I'll just say last stop off the L. I don't want to say exactly where I live.
Okay,
but if you do the math, if you put the work in, you can find where I live.
You want to stalk them. And that's my criticism of the opening video because and I've kind of felt like Cody has low key downplayed this thing the entire time without. So I feel like he's smart. He's kind of in coded language been like, this isn't a big deal, but has just come out and said it. Although Dustin has. So that's how I know. Dustin was basically like, this is bullshit on Facebook. Did you ever see that post that Dustin put?
No, I don't know his Facebook, but Cody, I don't even think it's low key. He mentioned, I remember when they were like, yes, George is getting back to work.
He was like, great job, George. Yeah. But I mean, he's not I kind of feel like he wants to just say, I don't give a fuck about this thing, but he knows he'll catch blowback, but he's kind of keeps. But the video when they said, now the world is going back to normal in the opening video. And I'm like, it's really not. You just decided. Cody and Jim Ross, I guess, have just decided that we're past this and we're in the rebuilding phase. And they had another line, the time for fear is over, the time to believe is now. And it's and then the other, we're all essential. I'm like, guys, I just wish the video would be like, fuck COVID, we don't think it's real. Here's some wrestling.
I mean, that would have been straight to the point instead of whatever video they made. It could be called All Essential Wrestling. That should be their new name.
All Essential Wrestling.
All Essential Wrestling.
Yeah, because look, I mean, WWE's doing it, true, but I don't know. It's just AEW kind of had this reputation of we're the more of the moral high ground company. and also we're not WWE. And then, they're kind of just also saying fuck the virus too, which is like,
I mean, they just want to have their show, and I get it, but like there's stuff going on, WWE's working with like 12 people. Like Charlotte's on every show, but this time out of necessity, not because they want to put her there.
Yeah, you're flying in Leva Bates and the librarian. What's the librarian guy?
Peter Avalon.
Okay, yeah, you're flying in those two just to sit there.
Yeah.
And it's like, with no mask.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you really need to fly these two poor idiots? I mean, I'm sure they appreciate the payday, but do you really need to?
I know Leva. She's cool.
She's cool. I don't mean to call her an idiot. I'm just saying, like,
I got it.
Do you really need to drag these poor people in every week to just sit there at you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they have crowd now too. I mean, it's not just the fan. Like you can hear like they're like way up in the rafters or wherever.
Yeah, I think they're like friends. They're probably like friends of a friend. They're probably like private parties, like friends from school. Do you want to sit there?
Exactly.
But they do have a crowd.
Yeah, which does add to the ambiance of the show, but it's still very, very dangerous.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
It's still weird. Yeah, I definitely have said on the show when I reviewed Dynamite that AEW has a more whatever, even though they do the testing, I do feel like they have a very whatever attitude towards this. And lots of times you can read between the lines of what they're saying. And they're kind of like giving out messages that they don't think this is really a thing.
It might, and this just might be because I'm not as wealthy as Tony Khan or those guys. They might just be able to get tests like that. Like if something actually did break down. And they can like test. Same with the WWE, can test their wrestlers. No problem.
I heard they're not. I don't. Dave Meltzer said they're not testing. Triple H said they were. I could have sworn Triple H did an interview right before Mania saying they were testing. I don't know.
They're probably doing like the temperature test. They're not like putting swabs down people's throats.
Yeah, but I also didn't like the opening video because they're doing this whole big tribute to essential workers and EMTs and doctors, and I'm like, oh, we have so much respect for you guys, but you're literally going against doctors' orders and having a big group of people with no protection, bleeding on each other and drooling on each other. And it's like, if you really gave a shit about these poor fucking hospital workers, you wouldn't you would just have best of shows and not have
you would. It's very hypocritical to be like, we care about essential workers. Now here's our quote essential workers doing the
here's
same
our non-essential.
Yeah, saving no lives. but just putting on a wrestling show for you.
Yeah, so that was like. But let's talk about the pre-show match. Our pre-show match was Private Party versus Best Friends.
Yeah,
it went for most of the pre-show was just this match. They had very little hype, and it was just mainly this match. What'd you think of this match?
I thought the match was cool. I mean, it just seemed like another vehicle for Trent and Dustin. He's Chuck Taylor. I can't remember what his name is. Chuck Taylor.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's got like 8 different names. But that it was a vehicle for them to win. Because when I watch on Wednesdays, I watch it back and forth. I switch for AEW and NXT. And sometimes afterwards, I don't go back and DVR because I'm just like wrestled out. So I didn't realize that last week. I found out that like the Best Friends were actually doing well. So they always kind of seemed like the enhancement team. Like they would come out. They would lose, and you're like, oh, all right. And they're like, their ranking is like 6-0. And I was like, man, I gotta watch the Dark Show because I never see these guys win a match.
I think they I can't remember, but I think they've been winning shit on Dynamite. So
yeah, they did win some stuff on Dynamite too. I was probably watching like Io Shirai or something.
Yeah, I like this match. I didn't love it. I thought it went a little bit too long, but I get like it was just basically to give people a free match for the buy-in.
Yeah. Do you think
I'm sorry. What were you
saying? Do you think it would have enticed someone to buy the pay-per-view? Because that's what the pre-shows were supposed to do back in the day.
No, I mean, no. I don't think it would have enticed me. No.
Yeah. It's no hog pen match.
Well, yeah, it's no hog pen match, but I like it better than last year's pre-show match. I thought last year's pre-show match, Double or Nothing, that Battle Royal.
Oh yeah, we saw like Billy Gunn and things like that.
Tommy Dreamer, that was a little bit, but
that was a nostalgia match.
Yeah, it was that was like a little bit, but this I liked it. I didn't love it. It was fine, but I thought it went a little bit too long. I think they could have a little bit more hype on the pre-show.
Yeah, it was announced like Wednesday, like, oh, by the way, they're gonna fight Private Party. You haven't seen Private Party in like 2 months. So
yeah, and they don't really. My thing with AEW is they kind of don't explain. I feel like AEW feels like we just sit on the internet all day and watch like indie matches, and we do. But regular people don't. Like, I feel like they don't do a really great job of explaining people. They kind of let people keep their their indie gimmick and just carry it over to AEW, but they don't do a good job. Like, I really don't know like what Private Party is about or what they stand for.
Yeah, that was my early criticism of them because I thought they blew Cody and MJF too early. Because like all of a sudden he was like, "Hey, here's his best friend," but like he was just in a segment about how you hate this guy. Why are they actually best friends?
Yeah, that was my thing.
Why was it? Yeah, like I don't know this. Like if I'm watching on TNT for the first time, I don't know this. I don't know this. I don't know why Kenny Omega's doing that. Like things like that. And they were just like, "Yep."
Yeah, that would be like if the $1 Million Man was Hulk Hogan's best friend, but in the other segments he's like screwing kids out of money and stuff.
But then you got to explain it. And then Hulk's like, "That's not cool, brother." And he goes, "I don't know."
Yeah, and then
they just never explained it.
I kept saying to my friend, like, "Oh, I know that he's going to betray him, so there's no drama because he's a scumbag every other segment." And my friend was always like, "Oh yeah, but that's what makes wrestling fun." Is that no, not when is this telegraphed? Yeah, you know,
and this early, like you could have done things. And this is a dead issue. Like the feud's already over. MJF's doing fine, but the explanation, and I think both promotions do terrible jobs of just assuming that you watch everything, and sometimes you don't.
But I think AEW at the start was even worse because this was literally the first show. You can't like just jump into the first show and expect. I feel like you have to like, all right, here's the deal. This is Jericho. This is the Elite. This is, you know what I mean? You have to like have a big like a pilot episode. You know, when you watch a pilot episode TV show, they don't just throw you in the middle of a TV show.
No.
And I kind of felt like AEW does that a lot. Like on Wednesday, Chris Stanler is now doing this thing with her nose or something. Or
she's been doing that for a little bit.
Well, JR goes to Excalibur. You want to explain to me what that is? And Excalibur doesn't say anything. And in my head, I'm like, if JR doesn't know what that is, how am I? You know, like you give me a reason why she's doing that. If Austin was giving her the finger and Vince McMahon was like, I don't know why he's doing that. It'd be
just like showing off his fingers.
I guess he likes fingers. It'd be like, no, it's like, you know, like they explain to you, Austin doesn't care about anybody. That's why he's doing that, you know? So
I do like JR's ability to not give a fuck about like the gimmicks he doesn't like.
Well, he shut down in the middle of that ladder match. I could tell he stopped liking that ladder match because he kind of just stopped speaking. Did you
like
notice
the
that?
High spots, doesn't like the high spots.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like he likes the company, but there's moments where he just is over it, and you can just hear it. But we get to the first match. It's the casino. It's a casino ladder match, right?
Yes.
Is that what they called it? Okay. And in this match, we have well, I hate to spoil it, but we have Brian Cage, Scorpio Sky, Frankie Kazarian, Sabin, Darby Allin, Orange Cassidy, Colt Cabana, and Joey Janela. I thought the match started off really good. I liked the concept. I thought it was a really smart concept with the ladder match battle Royal Rumble thing. And then when Brian Cage came out, I thought the match completely fell apart.
They did a lot to like. First of all, when he like tears off of a ladder, I was like, you could have used that to win. Like, why would you rip the ladder in half?
Why would you rip the ladder in half? Yeah,
you need that to win the match. I don't understand you, Brian. I felt like this match was just like beat up Darby Allin Day because this guy got destroyed. Like I don't think he had like one successful move. Maybe
no. Well, he did that skateboard thing, and it looked cool.
To himself.
But he hurt himself more than he hurt anyone else. He looked like an idiot after that.
Yeah.
But then him and Brian Cage botched that move where they put Darby on the little ladder.
Yeah.
And then he fell off, and then they had to cut to like Taz just standing there, so Brian Cage could reset up the spot.
Yeah, that did happen. I felt bad for them, but I think they did try to do some good things with that. They tried with the Saban. Kip Saban looks like a giant loser. He had like 4 friends out there, and he couldn't win the match.
Yeah,
it's like how can you, your girlfriend, and your best friend like lose? Like I don't understand. Like, but
the one thing I like that. I thought they did a lot of good character development with Sabin tonight with the promo. I thought that promo was really good because it gave him a lot of character, and it gave Jimmy Havoc and Penelope. I thought that was what they should be. That's what everyone should be getting. And the fact that it took this long for Sabin to get one.
Yeah.
I was like.
Because it took me a while to get into Chris Sabin and Penelope. I was like, why are they here? And then like they fought Cody Rhodes once, and I was like, okay, what's the appeal? And then
This promo probably should have been months ago because now I get what him and Havoc and her are all about. I thought, and even Chris Daniels' promo was very strong.
Yeah, that was good. It made you want to see the SCU win, and I'm not really a big SCU person, but like, all right, they have a motive.
Yeah, and same thing, and Joey Janela. I felt like those. I'm like, oh, finally they're doing this. It only took them a year, but finally they're doing like character. And my first problem with the match was at the beginning, just the way this match is situated. Why would an SCU be like, look, one of us get the chip, and then when I beat Jon Moxley, the other one can challenge me.
Yeah,
and that way we all get title shots. Like, why would they not just work together? Because there's nobody else in the ring.
It's that dumb wrestler logic, like when you're watching the Royal Rumble and like it's the Bellas and Asuka, and then Brie turns on Nikki or Nikki turns on Brie, and you're like, or you've been sisters your whole lives.
Yeah, like you could have just dumped Asuka out and then fought amongst yourselves. Yeah,
exactly. And it's just dumb wrestler logic where there's no real explanation besides dumb wrestler logic.
Yeah, they're just idiot wrestlers.
But Brian Cage looked incredible. Like they made him look great.
He did. I thought the match got very botchy and the storytelling was kind of fell apart once all 9 guys. Before that, I thought it was one of their best matches in AEW history. They got my other thing with Orange Cassidy. I like him a lot. I don't know what you think. What do you think of Orange Cassidy before I get into this?
I am a big fan of Orange Cassidy. I first saw him in Chikara like 2016, and I was like, what is this man? And this before the character was like, he was still a little bit more emotional.
Mm-hmm.
It's fully developed, and he was just such a cool and different character. So I'm glad he's able to do this now on the main stage of AEW. And he was one that I was like, I could see him winning and having like an interesting match with Jon Moxley.
Yeah,
like it's not like your main event of All Out, but it's like an interesting Dynamite match where he looks good. So he was one of the believable ones to me.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of felt like they should have waited to give it to Cage because now if Cage doesn't beat Moxley right away, he's kind of dead in the water.
And we can get to that with Moxley too because he's got these big matches that he's been doing, and he's already beaten guys.
Yeah.
Spoiler, if you're watching the review before the show for some reason, he's already beating guys, And I think I'm like, who's his opponent?
Yeah, now he's gonna jump right into Brian Cage, but if Brian Cage wins the belt, that's one thing. I don't know if they're going to do that. I wouldn't have Brian Cage get the belt right now.
No.
He still has impact stank on him. But
bring Tessa Blanchard back in to beat him?
Yes. So did Tessa beat him? Yeah, Tessa beat him. So maybe we can have Penelope Ford beat him. And
I thought she probably would have tried to grab the chip.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
I don't want to jump ahead to her match, but I do like her. But my thing with Orange Cassidy is he gets in the ring, and he doesn't want to pick up the ladder, or he's not into the ladder. And then later on, he like picks up the poker chip though. And like I just feel like he needs to be more like the Undertaker. What I mean by that is when they proposed him, and then you're going to help pick up the poker chip, he should have said no because I wouldn't do that. To me, the Orange Cassidy character would have just stood there while everybody else picked up the poker chip.
Yeah,
when he picks up the poker chip, I feel like that kind of breaks the character. And then you're like, well, this guy didn't want to pick up a ladder. Now he's picking up a poker chip. Like, why would he do that?
Yeah. Now, why does he have motive now? He didn't have it before. And now all of a sudden he wants to win the match without any like commentary or something being like, or maybe the best friends being like, no, win, something.
Yeah, or Brian Cage doing something to disrespect him. And I was like, oh, now it's on Brian Cage.
Yeah.
And there's just little moments where suddenly he shows a personality. And I'm like, I think you need to deadpan it more until the character evolves. Like, I feel like sometimes, and I felt this a lot in this match, where he'll do stuff that it's just what a regular wrestler would do.
Yeah.
And I think, like, even like he was like there to catch, I think it was Colt Cabana or somebody jump.
Yeah, Colt did jump.
Yeah, and all of them were there with their hands up, and he was one of them. And I'm like, I just feel like he should be like, I shouldn't do that. I should be like on the side watching you guys do that.
Yeah.
Even if you have to have Jimmy Havoc there also in his place. But that's my one problem with him tonight is that he needs to be more protective of the character like Undertaker. Like Undertaker said in the interview with Austin is like, oh, I could have done a lot of crazy moves back in the early 90s, but then I'm breaking the character.
Yeah, you don't want to see Undertaker doing like springboard DDTs.
Yeah, he could have. But that's kind of, I do want to see Orange Cassidy do that. But I mean, like, in terms of character work, like the ladder thing, once he picks up the casino chip, the ladder thing doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I agree.
And then once he starts going up the ladder and throwing Penelope Ford and stuff. But those are my 2 problems. I thought like the match kind of.
Or maybe that's something for the commentator to be like, oh, I guess he does want to win or something like that. Something like a little added note or something.
Yeah. It's just weird that he and he kind of, it's weird when he breaks the character because the character work is so well done that just to do it for no apparent, it would be like the equivalent of, I don't know, like, I'm trying to think. It would be the equivalent of like Undertaker just started dancing with Repo Man.
I want to see that.
Yeah, like in 1992.
Yeah.
You'd be like,
okay.
I thought you were, you don't move or anything. Well, whatever.
The WrestleMania album, Man in Black. He made that beat.
He did, but he didn't like start like breakdancing.
No, he didn't. If they made music videos back then, they would have had a bunch of Undertaker dressed to breakdancing.
There's music videos for that album. I have the VHS.
Oh, but not the Man in Black.
Not his. Yeah,
no. It's like Duggan and Brett, or not Brett, somebody else's. But I can talk about that album all day.
Macho Man has one where he sings to little kids.
Yeah.
And then WrestleMania has a music.
Yeah, Fun times.
Fun times.
But yeah.
So the next match is MJF versus Jungle Boy.
It was better than I thought it was gonna be. I'm not an MJF. I know he's like the best heel. People like he's the coolest heel. Mm-hmm. He's just a dirty heel. I'm like, he's just a dick. And I know that's like his persona, but like it's a dick to the point where I don't want to watch him. But this match was like the first time, at least since seeing him, was like, okay, I think he's got some moves. He had some near falls where I actually thought like, oh wow, Jungle Boy might have it. So maybe I'll turn around, but most of the time I just don't want to see him. He's just obnoxious for the sake of being obnoxious and not like a boo. I want to see you get beat. It's a boo. I don't want to see you.
Oh wow, so you really don't like him? Okay.
Yeah.
See, I like him a lot. I think he should be the champion. I think they should abandon all their plans and put the belt on him.
They did hint that he was like pretty much undefeated, so I can see All Out, John Moxley against
That's
if he wins, like the people erupt.
That's what I mean.
Anger.
Well, if there's people allowed.
Or erupt at home.
I'm just gonna say this: I love the stadium match. If there's still a quarantine in September and this is still at Dally's place, I don't care if they'll probably try to outdo the stadium match if that's the case. But I'm not gonna order All Out. I just thought this was a little bit too much money, and I feel like paying that money for this is sending them the wrong message. Like it's a pandemic. You either should have made it cheaper. I did enjoy some parts of the show, but you should have made it cheaper, or you should have gave us at least like a discount code for the website or something.
I agree. I think it should have been a little cheaper. I've always thought there are pay-per-views. I think the motto of pay-per-view. I got killed for it, and because people were, when I was like, why is this pay-per-view the first time or second time like $50? Like, look, I know they don't have a network, but WWE is $10 a month.
Yeah.
It's really hard to go from $10 a month back to $50, $60. And then people are, well, they're a new company. They need the money. I'm like, they got millionaires. They don't
need the Jaguars. They don't need the money.
Yeah. I mean, they don't want their company to go under. They don't want their company to go with red, but still.
But I think they could have made this cheaper and said one time only because we're in the middle of a pandemic.
Yes. I think with the pandemic, because WrestleMania, if for whatever reason you only got one night of WrestleMania, that was $30. And I didn't look up what Money in the Bank was or any of that. If that went back to the $50 price.
Yeah, but that's yeah, I know. But that's weird that they. I mean, I know why they do that because there's parts of the country where they have no internet. Yeah. But I feel like those parts of the country, those are the parts that don't have Corona that bad. So I feel like if you're a farmer in Montana or in Cody, Wyoming, where Eric Bischoff lives, you could probably afford this pay-per-view because your family's not dead.
Pretty much. But here it is a steep price. But that's just, I guess, the norm for them. They're just making a stand. The pay-per-view prices are essential. So
I guess I'm not paying, and I have a feeling that if we're still in this situation, they're gonna really try to outdo the Stadium Stampede, and they might succeed. We'll see if Jericho's behind it.
Yeah.
But I'm still not going to spend the money. I'm like, I gave you one shot. I thought the other matches were very average. I'm not doing it again.
So So the rest of the show just didn't sell it for you, pretty much the whole show.
Yeah, no, the whole show didn't sell. Well, I'll tell you what I enjoyed. This match. Well, you know what it is, because I'm sitting there with a higher. I like this match, but I thought it could have been better if they gave. Sorry, this guy. If they gave MJF and Jungle Boy like a real story. They announced this match 3 weeks ago. That's plenty of time to give these two people real stakes. Because while the match was good, I didn't really feel like there was any heat. I didn't really care who won or lost. I'm just enjoying the match. And I feel like these two are at least MJF is such a strong character that you can build a story between him and Jungle Boy that, would get me more into the match.
No, I can see that. Especially like MJF, he did some promos during when he was quarantined, and Jungle Boy does not have a good track record. Like if they push the fact that MJF has not lost and Jungle Boy is losing, and he wants to be the one to beat beat MJF, and just like shut him up, like it could have been great.
Yeah, it could have been great,
yeah.
And they just.
Not that it was bad. I don't know what the AEW fan base is gonna say. I don't want.
They said it was. I thought it was a very average match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't want people thinking that we're like AEW is the worst, because that's not the truth.
No.
Just telling our opinions, guys.
Yes. Yeah. Telling our opinions. I mean, telling their opinions, because I feel like sometimes some of the bigger names, and it's really weird because I've been following, there's memes out there now, like the wrestling fans weren't critical when I was a kid, and they post like 2000, and I remember the message boards.
They were.
The message boards in 2000 were 20 times more critical. The only reason why I think people are hypersensitive now is because you can directly tell. I can go right now on social media and directly tweet at Cody Rhodes, even though I didn't think this, your match stinks, you should kill yourself. Back then you couldn't, so nobody saw it. You know what I'm saying? So
you're right.
People were really mean back then, but Stone Cold Steve Austin didn't see that. Edge and Christian didn't see it. I mean, maybe they did. I don't know, but no one was directly talking to them, which now they do.
It's funny because I always think of this random Eminem line where he's talking about his old albums, and then when they're like, we love the Marshall Mathers one, we love the Eminem show, but Encore was terrible or something. And then he was like, in 20 years, people are gonna say it's a classic, and they might not say that about Encore. But that's what they do say about 2004 WWE or 2006 WWE.
Even 2008.
Yeah, 2008. And I did it. I remember enjoying 2006. I remember enjoying 2008. But people will look back. I'm like, hey man, remember Deuce and Domino versus Cade and Murdoch? Yeah. I was like, no, the tag division was just as awkward then.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
You were just 8. Look, I loved 1992. I loved Tatanka, Repo Man, all those jamokes. And I know I have nostalgia glasses on, but I think it's still great to watch. But I won't recommend that to you on the top 100 matches. That's just Kyle stuff.
The one year I don't have nostalgia goggles on because I really feel it was a wretched year was just 2003. I just feel like that year was.
Yeah, SmackDown was good, but Raw
wasn't. SmackDown had some good moments, but Raw was pretty rough to watch.
Yeah, I remember that.
Next up, we have Cody and Lance Archer. Lance Archer gets most of the match, and then Cody wins, though, after Mike Tyson throws out Arn Anderson and Jake the Snake. What do you think of the belt? Because the internet fucking hates the belt, and I actually don't really see anything wrong with it.
I think they said it at the beginning. They were like, we're going to put gold on it. So, I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know why people it's so ugly. I don't think it's that ugly. I don't know.
I think because it's just silver and red. It looks like a crackle bar.
Yeah, I think it's the least of their worries was that belt. I don't know.
But it was I think they're going to improve the belt like they said they are.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, okay, I guess it wasn't ready. I don't know what y'all were doing, but I guess it wasn't ready in time.
Well, Tony said because of COVID they couldn't finish it. And I'm like, okay, I thought you guys just said COVID's not a big deal, but whatever. Okay. What did you think of this match?
I thought it was okay. I don't know. I think I'm surprised Lance Archer. I say his name, he has 4 different names. Lance Archer lost. So he did such a big job of building him up as this monster, only for him to lose to Cody, who for all the Triple H jabs he takes, he's been put, to me, since doing this, he's been put in these Triple H must-win spots. and this was another like Triple H must-win spot where like he had to beat Lance Archer, who you also need opponents for Moxley.
Mm-hmm.
So like, why is Lance Archer losing in such a like decisive fashion? To Cody.
Well, I kind of think like at this point, the elite guys kind of have to start winning because they've been looking like kind of like idiots.
That too.
While. Cody got shown up by Jericho. Cody got shown up by MJF. So I kind of feel like he needed this to maintain like some, because otherwise it's like, well, this guy gets all the storylines and he just loses.
Yeah. See, I don't even. That's the thing. He's one of those wrestlers that like I just forget that he lost. He's just around
because he's
so
always
much.
on the show.
Yeah, so you're like, oh yeah, I guess he did lose.
I just think it shouldn't have been this guy. If you were gonna like have Cody win the title, I think it would have been better if he had beaten Darby Allin or someone like that for the belt.
Yeah, and then you bring in like a Lance Archer, and you're like,
bring Lance Archer later to beat him.
Yeah,
because it was kind of like you already sacrificed this guy so early in his run.
Yeah, and you can blame the Tyson excuse, I guess, but like it's also like they lost.
Yeah, I did like this match though. A lot of people didn't. I liked it. I thought it had a good pace. I know it was mainly Cody selling, and then suddenly he magically just destroyed him. Yeah. But I don't know. I kind of liked it. I didn't hate it I didn't hate it. It didn't bore me. Yeah. It kept my attention. So.
No, I mean that's all. That's all you want out of a match. I feel bad for Mike Tyson getting caught yawning.
Oh
on
yeah.
TV. But
I don't think Mike Tyson's too into the match.
No, yawns are involuntary, and unfortunately, I felt like I would do the same thing, even if I'm having like a great time. Sometimes your body's just like, oh man, I'm tired. He's just sitting in a chair, so you're just because also here I go.
He's right there, like dead center in the camera, and they don't do that when WWE. Like the smart thing WWE does is when they have a celebrity, they go, "Hey, Scott Hall's in the audience." They don't keep Scott Hall where you can see him because I'm sure at one point Scott Hall's probably on his phone, or he's probably like staring at the ceiling,
checking out girls or whatever.
Scott Hall just cut to Scott Hall if he's looking, and I'm just using Scott Hall as an example. You cut to Ric Flair and Scott Hall in the audience when they look like, oh wow, this is interesting, but it's like even though when they're looking towards the ring, it's hard when guys dead center camera for him to fake interest in it for like the 20 minutes, 30 minutes, however long match.
It's a long time to fake interest.
Yeah, he's probably like, all I want to do is hand this guy the belt and go back to the bar.
But they also, what are they? WWE did that with Snoop Dogg. I remember the rumor was that he fell asleep at WrestleMania 24. At least he had at least he had the sunglasses on, so you couldn't tell.
Well, I would have fell asleep at WrestleMania 24. That was a pretty boring WrestleMania.
Well, that's the one with Undertaker and Edge and Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels.
Well, the Ric Flair match is good, but everything else is like
Taker Edge. That was good.
I couldn't get into it. I don't know. It's good, but when sometimes Edge will talk about it as like one of the best matches he's ever had, and I'm like, all right, dude, you need to just.
He's gonna have
the greatest wrestling match of all time. Yeah.
That's gonna do so good. I don't want to be negative, but when you hype something up like that, it's like the Snyder Cut. You can't so much. It's gonna be the Snyder Cut of wrestling matches, and take that for what it's worth.
Look, maybe if you hired Kenny Omega and him and Daniel Bryan were gonna wrestle, you could maybe hype it up like that.
Mm-hmm.
But even that, like you just put such impossible. You just put these guys in a no-win situation.
Yeah.
And it's like that's not fair to Randy or Edge. Like just be like, this could be a classic. I don't know, say shit like that. You don't have to say like the greatest wrestling match.
I agree. They haven't had greatest wrestling matches before. They've had good ones. Haven't. They've had some good ones, but they haven't had like there's the one where Randy Orton broke his arm.
Edge?
Yeah, he was doing the pounding on the floor and he wasn't wearing wrist tape at the time. And he broke his wrist or something.
I mean, I know they did steal the show Vengeance 2004. That was 16 years ago.
That was a very long time ago.
Yeah.
They were I remember when they did the Shawn Michaels John Cena match that went an hour. Mm-hmm. But before that they advertised Edge versus Randy Orton. I think I was the only person in the world like, when is this match gonna happen? Shawn Michaels and John Cena are going long. And then
that's right. Yeah, they just didn't have the match.
Yeah, they were just like, hey man, the matches are just gonna keep happening. I was like, but but you advertised it. Then they fought the week later, and like, I cared. But back to AEW.
Yeah, next match, Chris Stanley, Penelope Ford. I like this match a lot, actually. In fact, I don't know what anyone's gonna say. I think this is my favorite match besides Stadium Stampede. I like Penelope Ford a lot. She's not on TV a lot, and I kind of feel like she needs to be in a better position. And I kind of feel like this was a really good match. I don't know what you thought of this match, but
I thought it was just kind of there.
Okay.
But she's starting to stand out more. Penelope Ford being in the match, like dressing like Sabian. Sorry, just burp for a second. Dressing like Sabian, like looking like she looks like a star.
Yeah, she does.
Like someone that I want to see develop and be, a better wrestler, better character. And, being honest, she's a beautiful, beautiful woman. So you want to keep her on TV as much as you can.
She's really beautiful, but, like I never really noticed her until tonight. But, I noticed her because they gave her and her fucking boyfriend a promo time.
Yeah, exactly.
And then a storyline throughout the show. So now it's like she stands out more as opposed to just some girl,
Yeah, she's not enhancement talent girl. Now you can believe her beating Chris Statlander at some point, or beating Hikaru Shida or something like that. And she might get if Britt Baker is out for a really, really long time, she might get what Britt Baker was getting if they don't bring somebody new in.
I like Britt Baker's promo, but I don't think she's that good in the ring. And I think like people assume she's better because of how good she is on the mic. But watching that match, did you watch the match where she got injured Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was scary to watch. And it's like, I just don't think you have the ring awareness that people think you do.
I can see that because people were blaming. I mean, at first I was like, man, they just dropped her on her leg, but like also her leg was kind of in a weird position at the same time. Like it was. Have you seen the Ruthless Aggression? I'm sorry, everyone. You go back to WWE stuff. Have you seen the documentary where with the Evolution one where Bubba?
No, I got to see that episode.
Okay. Well, there's a scene there with Bubba Ray Dudley, and that's all I'll say.
I've heard about that. Yeah, there was some debate about that on Twitter. Yeah. I've got to see that.
Yeah, no, it's worth checking out because you can just kind of tell he's not owning up to a responsibility that happened.
I kind of feel like she should have said sooner that she's hurt. When Nyla Rose dragged her, I was like,
that was hard. That was hard to watch because like she was definitely hurt, but I felt like no one knew what to do. I feel like the referee was just kind of going with like just carrying the match as normal, which I get. She's the only ref there. She can't necessarily throw up an X or anything.
I kind of think with a lot of these newer guys, there's nobody kind of guiding them. It just kind of feels like when something goes wrong a lot of times in AEW matches when they're newer wrestlers or wrestlers that haven't been on major television shows their entire lives, they kind of don't know what to do. They kind of like freeze up, and I kind of feel like that was a situation. And I think you can't allow these people, if they're going to be on TNT, taking high risks, freeze up when things go wrong.
No,
because it could lead to further injury for like someone like Britt Baker or something.
Yeah, I thought the drag was very scary. Like I don't know how else to get her out, or she just kind of rolls out of the ring or something. I thought the drag didn't help. I think the drag before that, like Statlander tried to pick her up, and like you can tell that like her leg was not able to stand. And I mean, Chris Statlander and Nyla Rose are both very new still, so I think that just comes to a more. And I have never been in a ring, so you can please, both of them can tell me to shut the fuck up. I'm just observing.
Nyla Rose probably tell you shut the fuck up. She's not. Do you ever see that thing with her and the reporter?
I've heard about it.
It's on Twitter. She's like really not.
Anyway, don't piss her off. But I mean, no, it just like I mean, I think just with more ring awareness and time, like that stuff becomes more of an instinct. The same thing happened with stand up. Like you would there are things that you didn't know 10 years ago, 4 years ago. And now something happens, you can like bounce off of it. The first heckle you got, or the first like person who interrupted your set with like woo, I love Brooklyn. Like you're like it stammers you out and you don't know what to do. And now to tell them to like shut the fuck up. Yeah.
No, that's true. The next match I thought was the worst fucking thing on the card. By far.
Was that the Goldust one?
But Dustin Rose versus Sean Spears.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I did not pay a lot of attention to it. It was on. He got stripped at some point. I was getting food. I was like, I don't like Sean Spears as a character. I just don't.
No, he's horrible. He was perfect as the guy who did 10.
Some people have that role in life, man. Some people have that, like, you hear Tatanka's music and you're like, oh, Tatanka's gonna do his Tatanka thing.
Yeah.
Hacksaw Jim Duggan's gonna do his Hacksaw thing.
Yeah. You know, it's like this. He's proof that's, you know, because like we don't have writers in AEW. He's proof that some wrestlers need writers.
I agree.
Some wrestlers cannot. It's just even the goofy thing where did you see he had Tully Blanchard's face on his underwear?
Yeah, I thought his dick was out. I thought
his dick was out too, and I was like, why? So what does he want to fuck Tully Blanchard? Like, I don't get it. It was just goofy and weird. And
I think he's trying. He has to really find himself because he's not. It's not working for me.
It's not. I you know, be honest. Like
that was a feud Cody won.
Yes, well, everyone should win. I think Penelope Ford should beat him.
I'm here for it.
Wednesday. Look, I'm not saying anyone should get fired, but if AEW needs to let people out to hire the Revolt and to hire Drew Gulak and Rusev, I would say he is first and foremost the guy I would get rid of. I would get rid of him, and there's a couple other people I'd get rid of, but he's the first person I would say, see you later, it's not working out.
I don't think it's working out. I don't think he's a – and the Goldust story, like I don't like where are you going? Because my brother brought that up. He's like, he lost the tournament, so like, did he retire? And then they were like, hey, we don't really know. And then he just showed
I guess
up,
he didn't retire.
You're like, okay, I guess, cool.
But why is also like I'm not trying to shit on. I love him. He's one of my favorite wrestlers. But why is he beating this guy Sean Spears when I don't know where is? It's not working. It's not working.
No, I don't think it's working. I don't think he's like a joke character.
Yeah, get rid of him. And
again,
his promos aren't working. I don't know. It's just not. It's not for me. It's not for the dudes.
I didn't even watch the one where he did like the news story. I was like,
it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing.
I'm sorry. I'm not. He is a winner in life. He is married to Peyton Royce, so he will always be a winner in life.
Okay. Well, yes, he is married to. By the way, this is the closest AEW shirt I have.
Shout out to that. I don't. I want to get a Hikaru Shida shirt. I gotta get one.
Oh, she has shirts. I didn't even know.
I mean, she's a star, man.
Okay. Well, that's true. Next up, Hakira. How do you say her name?
Hikaru Shida.
Yeah, Hikaru Shida. Yeah. Taking on Nyla Rose. I liked the finish. I wasn't a big fan of the match. I'm not a fan of Nyla Rose. I don't think she's a very good wrestler.
Okay.
What did you think?
This was my non-Stampede favorite match of the night.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. But I'm also a giant, like, Hikaru Shida fan. She's out.
Great.
Yeah. In the Tifa Lockhart attire. And I'm like, hell yeah. I'm already in.
Here's my problem with Nyla Rose. When she's on the offensive, she brings it. She doesn't sell good.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is, like, I don't know what she's doing. She's not selling.
Yeah.
And it's not even like she's no selling. It's just she does a really bad job of selling. And I think it takes away from what Hakira I don't know how to say it. What's her name?
Hikaru Shida.
Hikaru Shida is doing because she's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And I feel like Nyla Rose is bringing her down. I think they need to move away from Nyla Rose in the championship role. And I think they need to let Hikaru fucking go with Penelope. Yeah, with Penelope Ford, Riho. Is that the other one?
Yeah, Riho. I don't know what the travel situation is in Japan. So I don't know.
Well, whenever she comes back. Whenever she comes back. But I just think like you need to let her kind of become Asuka and go and let her just have killer matches on pay-per-view because Nyla Rose I don't think has it yet, and I can't get. She just doesn't do it for me in the ring. So
I think Nyla Rose, at least for now, would be best in a Sid role. And by Sid role, I mean you come out and you just beat people. She's angry. She lost the title. So and there's rankings in AEW, so they're like you can't get the title back yet. So she's like beating people up until like Big Swole or something is like, what's your problem? And then that's a feud that you can have while you build Nyla back up as this beast to eventually.
But I feel like you got to tell Nyla you got to become a better wrestler. Due to your push and your Stanley Company, you're still very green, and it's it's apparent, and it's apparent in because she's so good. Shahuda.
Yeah,
she's so good. I'll get to the eventually. Johnny Two Toes. She's really good, and it exposes Nyla as not being that good at a match.
Yeah. I did like the spot stuff they did with the table.
Oh yeah, it was
sticks
a
and
lot of
stuff.
good
Yeah.
stuff. When Hakira is selling, it was great. Then when Nyla had to sell, she looks like she's like looking for directions.
Yeah.
She's like, where am I? Like she's not really. I don't know. It's hard. It's
when she kicked her though, that was like when like the final match, the final cell.
Oh, that was good. Yes, that was good because it was the end. Yes, that was good. But yeah, it was what it was. Then I think this is where they showed the girl who died from Stardom? They showed her?
I believe either showed it before Hikaru or after. I can't remember exactly.
That sucks.
But before we get into to Hana, I would say Hikaru, and it's not just me doing lip service because I like it so much. I feel like she's one of their like organically made talents, which like she just came on the scene, and I was like, all right, just another wrestler from that they've imported in because they've done that a few times, and she just stood out, and like her social media presence is great. It helps that she's a giant nerd, and she's like, hey, I'm gonna play the Zelda theme, or I do things like that. But
cool. I don't follow her on social media, so
you would probably enjoy it. She's just like, I'm gonna play Zelda on the piano, or I like Marvel. And like she's just wholesome about it. It's a wholesome content. But like then in the ring, like her matches are incredible.
Yeah, she's really good. And I've had this I haven't really, because I started watching AEW once the quarantine kicked in, and I've only seen her with Nyla Rose, and I always feel like Nyla Rose is holding her back, and I feel like she could bring up the other women, like Chris Stanler and stuff. And I think it's time. I think it's time you have someone someone that good has to be the champ for a while. Because the women's division's very weak.
I agree. I mean, I don't know. I know. I remember last year when they first did their match, I thought like they had like Tennille Dashwood in their battle royal or whatever they did with the women.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't sign her.
Yeah, I'm like, how do you not have like people like Tennille Dashwood? Like, how is Impact still signing people to like full-time contracts?
I know how why is Jordan Grace there and not in AEW?
Yeah, they don't. They have somehow. I mean, shout out to Impact. They actually do a great job still for them. I don't. Making fun of Impact is so 2015.
I like Moose.
I didn't do it.
I like Moose.
Might be the only person who likes Moose.
I like. Well, you got to see. Have you watched the last few weeks?
I saw that promo that they did where they cut in like Hogan and all those people talking about how great he was. I was like, that's
he's
funny.
Doing a kind of a funny, like delusional Eastbound and Down character now. The North is doing sketches now, and the North are great wrestlers. In fact, the Revival said that's one of the teams they want to face, which I would be all about. They're great wrestlers. They're not good at sketches, especially Ethan Page. Like, again, there's some, everyone says, oh, Vince McMahon, the writers ruined me. I wrote my own stuff. There's some wrestlers like, no, you need a writer. You need a writer. You need a mouthpiece. And Ethan Page is one of those because
it's interesting because he was like, back when I was doing Busted Open, he was breaking out. He was very charismatic. He gave us a very charismatic interview, and he just has this persona.
No, he is, but it's like,
sometimes that stuff doesn't click.
It's too much.
Yeah,
it doesn't fit. It's too obnoxious.
You need someone to reel it in.
He needs direction.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, he needs to. This is why Freddie Prinze had acting class.
Exactly. You need someone to reel it in. Like sometimes you'll have a using comedy again. You'll have a great joke, or your joke's going on too long, or this joke could get cut around, or do something like that. And that's when somebody, if you're sharing your jokes with people, are like, "Hey, man, just cut out the word vagina, and you're fine." You're doing too much, but back to the tribute. Hana Kimura, just the terrible cap to this week of wrestling loss. The week's not over. Like, God forbid someone can still die tomorrow. Yes, God forbid.
Jim Ross for not social distance.
No, let's not predict anybody.
Okay,
it would be terrible. But like this one was just, and I'm not someone who watches Stardom like that, but she was someone that I saw like on pictures and GIFs and videos, and like she stood out. She was someone that you could see in America.
She had a great look.
Yeah. And like she was just like a star. Apparently she was on a Netflix show called Terrace House, so you can see her there as well if you really want to. And it's just so unfortunate, and due to just fans being dicks, that this 22-year-old girl didn't think so much of herself that this happened. And I wish and some of the tweets are just heartbreaking. Like Kairi Sane, and I don't know how well the Twitter translate is, was like, she saw it right away. She tried to help. She couldn't do it. And she's like putting it on herself just based off the translation. And I don't know where this is going to go. I personally, I know we're talking about WWE a lot, and I'm sorry. I would love to see, they don't do this. I would love to see WWE put up not a video, but just a little graphic that they do.
Can I tell you, she could have died saving this country from attack from the Taliban, and they still want to put up a thing.
No, I know.
Yeah,
I don't. I'm not looking up for the money and getting mad when they don't do it. I'll be surprised if Shad Gaspard gets a video, which is sad.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting a video. I think they think those 2 screens they did on NXT and SmackDown.
I don't know how they went from like actually doing videos to people to doing that like screen for like 10 seconds.
Well, they didn't even Howard got the video on SmackDown, but they didn't put the video on Raw for Howard. And I'm like, you can't show that video twice. You showed the video where it looked like Becky Lynch died twice, the one where she announced her pregnancy. It was like, like, you can't show the Howard Finkel death tribute video twice. Like, it's just like
they do some weird illogical things. But I think, and even if they're just being like doing lip service, which is it's something that they like doing, I think it would show a good precedence in like that they're like, we're all in this to actually put the video up, not video, a graphic up.
Let me ask you a question. Like, let's say like it's back to normal, right? Who do you think of the older generation, if they died, would get the show to stop? And what I mean by that is they do a tribute show to the wrestler. They don't just show like a package and have a regular episode of Raw.
Bret Hart.
No, I think it would be Shawn Michaels.
I mean, Shawn Michaels, absolutely. Shawn Michaels, the show stopped.
I think Hogan and Bret Hart would just get a video at this point.
I think Hogan would be controversial, but they would do a tribute anyway.
Like a whole episode? Like they stopped the storylines?
I
don't know if they would for Hogan at this point.
I think he did so much for wrestling that you have to. Like it would be the one that I'm not gonna watch.
I think Flair would get like 3. I think every show that week would be a tribute to him.
Yeah, every show would be a tribute to Ric Flair. It'd be like inside Charlotte's house, which they don't really do anymore.
She would win all 3 titles.
She would win every title, be the Ultimo Dragon.
They would send AEW to beat fucking your friend, like fucking
Karu Shida.
Yeah,
but no, I mean, this is a very morbid conversation, but I think you got Brett, Shawn, Flair.
Yeah, because like I thought like Roddy Piper, they were gonna stop the show, and even Warrior when they died, and they just like were like, here's a video, and they stood on the stage, and then they just had like a regular episode.
But the Warrior was like also like a Warrior tribute show, wasn't it? Like it was.
No, it was like, because I remember watching that, and they started it off, and then they went right into the IC tournament, and some Shield promos and stuff.
No, I guess. Right. I mean, I guess maybe more immediate roster members they stopped the show for.
But I just feel like I do think like people like Hogan and Bret Hart, you should stop the show for.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, there are people who carried your company, like Shawn Michaels, like or the Undertaker, which you know.
Oh yeah, Undertaker. I mean, if they don't stop the show for Undertaker,
then they don't stop the show for anyone. If that's the case.
Yeah. I mean, Vince. I think Vince. Anyway. Well, okay, it's pretty morbid, but yeah, they're not going to mention. The one thing I want to say though is like people have been online bullying, and I agree, online bullying is pretty shitty. But the other thing I think we need to really start put, and this didn't come up in the conversation about this girl, is that we need these reality shows where the editors can put you in a bad light, and they manipulate reality, and they cause people to hate you. I feel like this show that kind of like encourages toxicity with the cast, because otherwise there's no show. These shows kind of need to go too. You can do a show like this that's completely scripted and fake. There's no reason to pitch this as a reality show, because then people think that this is the real person.
No, you're right.
It's like wrestling. You blur the lines. You know what I'm saying? Like if Charlotte Flair went out on Raw Monday and was scripted to say, I don't care that Shad Gaspard died, people are going to think that's how Charlotte really feels. I'm not saying that she would say that. But you understand what I'm saying?
No, I understand.
Like Vince McMahon's directing her to say this line. That's an extreme example. But people would not say Vince McMahon. I mean,
but that stuff that they like. I mean, they did it with the CM Punk and Undertaker when like Paul Bearer like died Monday or Sunday or something, and then he's like, they're like, we're throwing it into the story.
Some fans did get mad at CM Punk, like, why didn't you say no and stuff like, you know.
I mean, he's not. That. You know, they went with the wrestling mentality, like, oh, he would have loved it, which, you know, I don't know. You never know what a person's going to love.
Well, I don't think if they made the Shad dying,
No, not at all.
But like what I'm saying is these reality shows, I don't know why we encourage, and this is worldwide, these toxic reality shows.
No, you're absolutely right. No.
And I feel like that's what that encouraged bullying, because it weird people watch it, they think she's what they're presenting in the editing, so they go after her on social media, and then she thinks to herself, I've ruined my life doing a stupid show, and then kills herself.
No, you're right. Snooki mentioned this recently. I mean, Jersey Shore is surprisingly back. I don't know if she's actually leaving, but she mentioned she's gonna leave because she just can't do this kind of lifestyle anymore. She's got kids. People think she's just this drunk piece of crap. And I don't, that could all just be editing and for the cameras. I don't know her at all. But that's the character that's portrayed out. She has to be this drunk mess, and she's a mom who's written books and does all this other stuff. So she's not just a drunk. But you're gonna have that person in whatever part of America being like, you're the worst. And there's only so many times you can see that about. And
yourself. You can't defend yourself because they control the editing process.
Yeah.
They can have like I had these two comedians do the marriage rescue with the bar rescue guy.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently in the real world, he asked the husband a question very accusatory, and the husband kind of gave it back to him, and the guy kind of backed up. But when they edited the episode, he asked the accusatory question, and they cut to a shot of the husband. He's just like he's like, you got me,
Yeah, they're telling us they make you tell this story, this narrative.
Yeah, they control. You don't have a way to beat it. And the same thing with this poor girl. I haven't seen the episode. Apparently, they made her like a bully, and maybe she was sticking up for herself, or just trying to be like, hey, look, don't fuck. I don't know. I don't watch the show. I don't want to watch the show. Hopefully, it's at the end of. It won't be the end of the show. The show will be on for 30 more years.
Yeah.
Terrence's house.
I didn't even know it was a thing until I found out she passed.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was actually on Netflix. But I don't really like these shows. People do, but I think we just need to stop supporting these type of shows.
No, I mean, I agree. I fall victim to it too. I mean, I don't tweet the person, but I still watch Total Bellas and stuff, and Nikki Bella comes off like the worst person in the world sometimes.
I know, but I feel like Nikki Bella is in on that. You know what I mean? Like, maybe. I feel like if this girl had if this show was called The Girl from Stardom, I don't know, what's her name again?
Hana Kimura.
Okay, the show is called Hana Kimura.
You gotta start learning these Japanese wrestlers' names.
Well, I don't know. Hana Kimura, the Hana Kimura show. I feel like she would have more control of the editing, but like these Terrence have, so I like if Nikki Bella is portrayed as like, I don't know, like an animal murderer or something. I don't know. Like, she's the one with the final say. She's not going to let them do that and be like, oh, I didn't expect that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's called Total Bellas. So I'm sure she
is an executive producer on the show.
Yeah, I'm sure she overlooks the cuts before they put out.
But no, I do agree. The reality shows do not help. And it's hard.
They do not help reality.
No, they don't. Not a bit. One bit. You would think, especially by now, for all the people who especially call wrestling fake and reality fake, that they know how to blur the lines and not attack these people like they're real people.
I think reality show fans are worse than wrestling fans at this point. They're dumber. I mean, not that we're dumb, but I'm just saying, like, they're the ones who can't do. They are dumb. Wrestling fans are.
They call it when Bro had like got like run over by the Nexus or whatever. Like, people like flooded that hospital.
Okay, yeah.
Like, so we're not that.
So
smart.
Reality fans are just as dumb. But except they think they're actually watching something mainstream because it's on TLC and shit. Yeah,
no, like My 600-Pound Life or whatever.
Or 90 Day Fiance.
Yeah, I don't know which ones they are. But yeah, it's just a scripted, and you can really hurt people. And this is an example in both wrestling and reality. And and I didn't see this in real time, but people saw it in real time. Like, the photos were up of of what she was doing to herself. And it's you as a fan feels powerless. Her friends feel powerless. We're quarantined, so you can't even go. Not that I'm going over there, but you can't even go over there, or you can try.
Someone near her probably could have tried, but
but it was probably too late, and it was completely unpreventable. And
I mean, if Penelope Ford was across
completely preventable. Sorry.
If Penelope Ford was across the street from my house trying to kill herself, I would go over there and be like, "Can we just get married instead? Like, why are you this upset? You haven't met the Gootz yet? That's your problem."
That'll solve everything. She'll be like, "That's it. Life My
I wouldn't be like, I'm under
begin.
quarantine. I can't do anything about it. I guess I'll see you. My condolences. She was killing herself, crushing my house, but I was quarantined.
So. What was it? I think it was Man of Steel, where like his dad was dying. And he was just like, you are Superman. You can literally grab him in like less than 5 seconds, and he's like, no, let me stay. He's like, Dad, no. And you're like, oh boy.
Don't get me started on Zack Snyder.
I'm sure you'll have a.
When they were going, this is a sad week for wrestling. I was like, this is a sad week for everything. Zack Snyder got his way.
It's good. It's part of my job is to talk about that cut in detail. So
right before we get to the Jon Moxley match, Tony Schiavone kind of cuts a little thing where he's like, all the loss and stuff, and again mentions that things are going back to normal, and they're not. That is a false narrative. Do not believe. Listen. I did wind up liking this pay-per-view, but I really feel like it's dangerous to keep spreading this message to people. But then he goes like, we really feel bad for the people that are unemployed. We feel like entertainment's important. And I'm like, okay, but people that are unemployed really shouldn't be spending $50 on Double or Nothing.
No,
you
right.
know what I'm saying? Like you probably could have made this cheaper if you felt bad. We really feel bad you're unemployed. How about this? You give us $50 and we'll put on a wrestling pay-per-view. How about I give you $20? You put on a wrestling pay-per-view. You're unemployed.
You're not wrong. Yeah, that doesn't. That it was another mixed message, and they did mention Shad, and that's another one where you're just like life.
Oh, that's
life is just not friggin' fair. Both things not fair.
Yeah,
and there was also.
I do think Shad's gonna get the Warrior Award.
I think so. People were like, just rename the award because Warrior's a trash human being, which I don't think they're going to do. Was a trash human being, but I don't think they're going to do that.
The Shad, no offense to him, I like the guy, but the Gaspar Award or the Shad Award, I don't know, it just sounds.
You don't gotta call it the Shad, but you could call it the Beast. He was the Beast. Still, you're like a beast in life.
I know. Just the Warriors, like this guy was a warrior. He saved his son. Know. Maybe change it to like Kerry Von Erich's decapitated foot.
No,
the modern day warrior.
See, you always take it there.
But I'm just saying that Kerry Von Erich wasn't a racist. At least we know not that we know about.
I don't know. I just assume. I'm surprised when people in wrestling are not racist.
I know.
I just assume they're. I just assume everyone the worst out of everyone.
I can't believe that the stories that Teddy Long would say about Ric Flair. I can't believe he hasn't been canceled by black culture. But that's a whole other.
I think we all just like it too. Sometimes, look, Michael Jackson. Like we pick a couple.
I know.
I don't know. I have Ric Flair shirts.
I know. I still have Ric Flair shirts, but I mean, like, it just, I don't know. My thing is this, like, my thing, I know you don't like Hogan. My thing is this. Hogan said the N-word in his basement. He didn't know anyone was listening. It's not like he yelled at JYD, hey, N-word, get to the ring.
That we know of.
But JYD's dead. So, dead men tell no tales. Maybe Tito Santana couldn't enlighten us. We'll ask him.
I bet he's going to be the one that just knows all.
Tito Santana, that's why he doesn't say anything.
He was there, and he knows.
He knows where that girl's. He knows exactly what Vince did with that body. He knows. Tito Santana knows everything. Tito Santana knows. Tito Santana was the one who gave Owen Hart the clip. I mean,
no, we're not going there.
I'm saying Tito Santana
not on the 23rd, especially. We're now 24th. We're not good. That week's. I mean, that was. That did you watch the Dark Side of the Ring?
Oh no, because I've seen so much about Owen Hart that like I don't want to watch this again. I watched the clip of Jim Cornette crying, and I was like, you know what? I've heard all the stories and them crying, and I know that Vince McMahon is culpable. And I know, you know what I don't like about Dark Side of the Ring. To be honest with you, I don't like the reenactments.
They're kind of dark. I mean, it's called Dark Side of the Ring, Kyle.
I know, but I just feel like I don't need reenactments, especially like his wife's there talking about his death, and then there's
they have him on the ground and stuff. I think,
and there's the guy in the blue blazer suit running around. I'm like, I don't really need that. I could just see a picture of Owen Hart, like I don't know, when he was a kid. I don't really need even the Benoit recreations.
Yeah, they don't really have that show him like choking people and doing stuff like that.
Yeah, it's
like,
weird.
We get it.
And I like that was my favorite episode of Dark Side of the Ring, but I can't get into it because of the recreations. If they did less of that, I'd be more into the show.
Yeah, I mean, this one is if anyone was pro WWE during this whole Martha WWE, you're not after watching this. That's all I'm gonna say about that. I don't think you're pro WWE after watching any of the Dark Sides. Maybe UWF because they got nothing to do with that one. But you really. You really can't. Just call there's no
reason.
Anymore.
There was no reason to have him lower to the ring. I know they wanted this shit on Sting, but like.
Yeah, it was. I mean, everyone can agree except for maybe them It was a giant mistake, and it was a fatal mistake. And then continuing the show, we're not right now. We're not talking about anything that's not new. That's new. We
probably should keep.
It just sucks, and it's the same week. That's the thing. It was Shad, the stuff on Monday about Shad, and you're hoping for good news when you're being realistic that it's probably not going to happen. And then the Dark Side of the Ring, which is just bringing up, especially if you lived it. And I think we both lived it. 20 years of
21 years.
21 years. Yeah. This as of yesterday. And then you find out about Shad, and then you find out about Hana Kimura, and you're just like, Jesus. And the wrestling journalist as well that also just like had a heart attack or something.
I know you're going to disagree with me on this, but this is the one thing I will say, having watched the clips of the son and Martha. And you're going to disagree with me on this, but I'm going to tell you that he is going to be in the Hall of Fame one day. Somehow they're going to trick. It's probably going to be after Martha dies. They're going to trick that son into signing something, because the more you say no, and the more reasons you have not to do business with Vince McMahon, somehow they Jedi mind trick you into doing business again.
I mean, I can see it.
If Martha Hart said, "I'll put him in the Hall of Fame tomorrow," I would say he's never going to the Hall of Fame. Yeah. He's never going. If Martha Hart had a sign up that said, "I'll win for the Hall of Fame" at the end of the documentary, he would never. But the more insistent you are that you will never do anything with Vince McMahon, I think the more he wants to, the more he there's something, somehow he manages to fool you into getting back in his good graces.
I could see them, and I think they did this with the Warrior and the other people. It wasn't even Vince; it went through Triple H.
Yeah, I could see I could see when Martha dies, them mind melding those two kids.
Which I hope they have. She lived a very long life.
Yeah,
but that's another thing you learn from the documentary. You learn about the Owen Hart Foundation, and it was around. I knew it was around.
Yeah,
I just didn't pay attention to it. And I'm happy that they're having whatever closure that they have. And Owen's in Wrestling Hall of Fame. He's just not in the WWE one.
No. Yeah. She likes wrestling because she was talking about it with Jericho but I just feel like when they said, "Oh, he'll definitely never be in the Hall of Fame," family really doesn't want him. Yeah. And I'm like, that's usually when you go in the Hall of Fame. Bruno Sammartino wanted nothing to do with them. Ultimate Warrior was Goldberg was fuck them. Goldberg is their best. Goldberg was allowed to ruin the Fiend's story. Champion. Yeah, Goldberg was going to main event WrestleMania if there was no Corona. That probably would have been the last match.
Yeah, he's a two-time friggin' champion.
Yeah. Every time somebody, and the more reason you have to say fuck Vince is when he will. Eric Bischoff was basically was trying to put the guy out of business. So that's all I'll say.
I hope they're wrong. I hope you're wrong. I hope they keep him out of the Hall of Fame forever.
Everyone I thought they'll never do business with, and I think the only reason the Macho Man thing is I believe the Stephanie rumor. I think that's the only thing it could be.
Yeah,
because there's so much money to be made off Macho Man from 2002. So that's when he was a free agent, especially during the invasion. You could have had him. Imagine Macho Man leading the invasion.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah. So there's so much money you could have made from 2001 till his death with him, on merch, on making him the GM of Raw. Would have been hilarious. There's so much shit you could have done with him in that era, putting guys over, even on commentary, whatever. Having him on documentaries, whatever you could.
That was also this week. I think. It was the 9-year anniversary of Macho Man. It's a somber week.
So that's why I believe this. Although I do think if he lived, because he was in All Stars, remember that he did the promos role.
He did the All Stars. He did the San Diego Comic-Con action figure promo. Mm-hmm. So the relationship was starting to mend at least.
So I do think
merchandising.
He'd probably be the GM of Raw or something in 2013 or some shit.
And then everyone would have turned on him. Macho Man doesn't have it anymore.
Oh, God, he's still cutting the same promo. Oh, yeah, I'm representing the authority. Yeah, Daniel Bryan, you're a B+ player. No, C+ player, dig it.
Okay. All right, we really missed out.
Get me the Shield! Daniel Bryan's in the ring going, yes. Shield, get him! I would have been great.
Get me the Shield, yeah.
Get me the Shield, yeah.
I believe in the Shield.
We're going to take you over. This would have been a way better storyline. Roman Reigns, you're not going to beat Brock Lesnar at Mania.
Brad Maddox was the guy at the time. I don't even know.
Yeah, Macho Man replaces Brad Maddox. Stephanie, you looking nice tonight. Ooh, yeah.
Oh no, you always take it there.
Then Triple H just looks at him. What? Those were just rumors.
You always take it there. But okay, we sidetrack so much on AEW.
Back speaking of the Shield, Jon Moxley.
That was the whole point. That's why we did this whole thing.
Brody Lee, what you think?
It was there, like it wasn't a bad match. But again, Moxley's beaten, and not that he was going to lose the title. I thought when they went through the double DDT, they were going to have the non-finish. But then they both come out. I do like that he had to like pretty much choke him out, and he didn't necessarily lose. Passed out. I mean, he lost by the definition of the rules.
Yeah, he lost.
But like on his own accord, he didn't like give up or anything. But then what do you do with the Dark Order? Like Dean and Jon Moxley.
I think that's it. I think Brody Lee's very bad at talking.
Really?
He's very good at wrestling. I don't really like the promos he's been cutting.
Yeah.
I think this character doesn't fit him. I think the Dark Order dissolves and you repackage Brody Lee.
I think Vince Light was not the way to go. I think it was like funny to like a small group of people. Again,
he's not the guy to be the Vince.
Yeah. Again, like you're not explaining this. Like we know. Mm-hmm. But I have friends who like don't watch wrestling via the internet. They don't care about the backstage stories or things like that. That's not something they care. So like that's something where you're just like, why is he mad about steak? Like he just seems like a neurotic man.
Yeah, it just wasn't a good fit for him. And he's a great wrestler. He's a great brawler. He's got I just think he was miscast in this role, and I think this is now a good exit to get rid of the Dark Order and repackage.
I think so. Do you? I know he's been like stuck with Rowan for the past 10 years of his life. Do you bring in Rowan again when the contract is up and they do something again?
I wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. I think Rowan has a big upside too. You just, but if it's Rowan and Dark Order, it's a waste of both their times.
Yeah, we don't. I think Dark Order was, and two of them can't even travel into the country right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I would get, and I would have maybe on Monday just have the Dark Order attack Brody Lee. Be like, you're a loser like us. Why, you lost. And I thought it was fine. I thought it was a standard Jon Moxley match.
Yeah.
I mean, he talks good game. I just think he never really delivers. It's always very good, but not great. And I don't know. It was fine. It was all right.
I think he's another one of those wrestlers where his opponents, like Chris Jericho was a good opponent. And then his last couple of people were like Jake Hagar. And like no one cares. I'm sorry. Like no one believed that Jake Hagar was going to win the championship.
Oh no.
And then like now you have like Brody Lee, and that was just like I think way too early. But they also don't have people. Mm-hmm. They have people and they don't have people, and it's just like I don't think they know what to do with Jon Moxley right now. So I guess Brian Cage is next. I don't.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's what they made him. And if he loses to Jon Moxley, it's like, well, then why just sign this guy? Here's my thing with Jon Moxley, and I learned this at SummerSlam 2016. When he has to prove himself, he delivers. He's the one who, like, if fighting someone more clout, Moxley will deliver in the ring. When Moxley has to make the other guy look good, or Moxley's like, the upper class guy and the other guy's building, he doesn't do it. Like that Dolph match was not that good, and it kind of buried Dolph. And I don't blame all that on Dolph and all that on the booking. He didn't like he was into
that
it.
Whole storyline was that whole storyline was like he mean like you're not gonna win, Dolph. Why do you think that? Because you don't win. And it was like that doesn't help Dolph Ziggler. And then Dolph didn't win. And
Dean Ambrose at the time Dean Ambrose just left the ring, didn't seem to care. And I kind of felt like this match was the same thing. It was like it was good, but it didn't like make me go like, holy shit, Brody Lee is gonna be like a superstar in this company. It was just all right, that was just as good as something they would have put on, Money in the Bank if they still in WWE. And that was. I
think his look is a little weird. So whatever that jumpsuit or whatever his
he never.
His company sweatpants that he's got on, like
I like the Wyatt family look. Every other time he tried a different look, it didn't fit him. Like when he did the Basham, what was it called? The Bludgeon
Brothers, yeah.
When he did that stupid suit, it fit Rowan, didn't fit him.
Yeah.
He looks too much like a regular guy to put in a goofy outfit. It just looks like your local hardware guy put on a goofy.
He went LARPing.
Outfit.
He went LARPing with
he went LARPing. Yeah. I feel like it'd be better just to dress him like a regular dude, not in a suit, but like make him dress like a backwoods dude again and just let him go. Just let him.
Yeah, I don't know who he fights next either. I don't know. I mean, that's the good thing about AEW. They have contendership, so in theory, they can put anybody.
I would give him Cody.
I would
have him fight Cody or Kenny.
But
I would move away from the Inner Circle.
Still Dark Order or like
Breakaway and wrestle Cody.
Yeah.
Maybe him, Rowan, Rusev, and Murder Hawk. Oh no, I'm sorry. Let's not even say they hire Rowan or Rusev, but him, Murder Hawk, and Brian Cage with Taz can start something.
Yeah, you can have just a crew of
badasses. Yeah, and then like
maybe they're feuding with Kenny Omega and Cody and Adam Page and
I think they need to get away from the Inner Circle now.
Yeah.
And that brings us to our last match, which here's the deal. There's been matches in AEW I think are good, but I never thought they were really that great. I kind of feel like AEW is WWE light. Nobody wants to admit it. I thought this match was the best fucking thing AEW has done since they started. This match was worth the $50, not worth the $100, which is what I would have to pay for All Out. But it was amazing. This was one of the best fucking things. This is the best thing I've seen Kenny Omega. I do not like the Young Bucks. This was the best thing they've ever done in their career. Hangman Page. There was so much character development. There was so much that you learned. It was so action nonstop, humor. We even had Page and Jack Hagar sitting. Are you here to fight? You here to drink? Same thing. They start fighting.
Yeah.
They had an incredible mini match in the bar. Hangman Page looked like a superstar.
Yeah, coming in on the horse and.
Yeah, and then when he leaped off the bar.
Yeah.
Even the LAX. I know when I was calling that. Fuck it, they're LAX to me. The stuff they did with Matt Hardy in the water. This was the fucking best thing they've ever done. By far, no question about it.
I 100% agree with you. It was the best thing that they ever done. It was one of the most fun matches I ever seen. And this was a cinematic match too. I mean, not like in the film way, but this might be the best, one of the, if not the best cinematic match that they've done in wrestling history. Like because the Boneyard, and it still feels like wrestling because the Boneyard match was definitely like a movie. You know, like you're watching a movie. Same with the Final Deletion and all those other ones. This one still seemed like a wrestling match. It was just wonderfully edited together, and it was just great. I don't have a bad thing to say about this match.
And all the storylines that have been between Matt Hardy and the Elite and Hangman Page and the Elite, and all like the character development that all these characters have gotten really paid off in this match. And that's been a big complaint of mine with AEW is that they don't really have any character development or character growth. You don't know a lot. I know so much more and like Hangman Page so much more as a character just for that little part where he's sitting at the bar and just him and Kenny Omega drinking milk and whiskey.
Yeah, and
all that shit was so needed, and it's just all these little touches make you fucking root for this guy, Hangman Page, and even Kenny Omega. And you can have Dave Meltzer blow them on the internet all you want, all this stuff. That stuff didn't do anything for me. This did. This got me into the Young Bucks. This got me. This got me. I think like Sammy Guevara. I think this kid's the future. Sorry, my headphones.
That's okay.
Sorry, my headphones. I'm just so excited.
Yeah, that's what happens when
AEW I like.
So when you watch this match, but Sammy Guevara being the final one, like you were saying, shows that there's someone that they have faith in that and
they should.
Yeah,
they should. This guy should be the future. Old.
Yeah,
this guy should be the future. I think my big complaint about this card was they put all the best guys that need character development. Darby Allin, Luchasaurus, Orange Cassidy. They put them all in the same match.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they should have been spread out, and the card would have been a lot better.
And they didn't have great moments. They
didn't have great moments that ladder match. It did to justify shoving them all in that match. And,
like they did the little mini ladder with Marco. Darby Allin
that kind of took me out too. That was way too late in the match for comedy.
I was just like, but win. Like at that point, you're like, or you could win. But Darby Allin just seemed like he likes hurting himself. There seems to be especially younger people like Darby Allin, love Darby Allin.
I like Darby. I think Darby Allin. What I would do next, I would also move Matt Hardy away from the Elite now. I would have Matt Hardy work with Darby Allin.
That'd be interesting. Do you think that the Broken character is running? I was thinking that before going into this, and then when they did the water thing again, I was like, yeah, it's great. But I was like, do you think like Matt Hardy needs another reinvention, or like is Broken like 2016?
I don't think he should be wrestling long matches in the ring like he was the last 2 weeks. I think that really exposed him. I don't think he should also be beating Sammy Guerrero one-on-one. Yeah. I think this thing was fine. What they did when, with Hangman Page and Kenny Omega being his support, he should only be doing matches like this and sketches at his compound or in the corner of Darby Allin and training him in the back.
Yeah.
I don't think he should be wrestling matches in the ring. I think those matches kill the character. Well, like the last 2 weeks where he was having a long match in the ring with, I'm just going to call him LAX, with those guys and also with Sammy, I think that kills the character.
No, I can see that. I think he needs the mystique of the Broken or Damascus or whatever he's calling himself right now. And that helps him. That helps Heidi because he's older. He's an older guy. He almost had to retire like a couple years ago.
Yeah,
like
I remember.
Butt fused with his back or whatever the hell the weird thing happened to him for doing leg drops. It's like he, as talented as he is, he's not the Matt Hardy from 10 years ago anymore, from even 5 years ago anymore, and that's just life. So you use him in a limited capacity.
I think it's better for everybody. Yeah, just keep Impact. I think the people that use him the best up until tonight, because I thought this was the best use of him in years. But up until tonight, the people that used him best was Impact because he almost was in his own universe on the show.
Yes.
He was like above everybody, but he wasn't the champion because he couldn't be the champion because he couldn't go in the ring and have long fucking matches. But he was above everybody. He kind of made the show twisted. But he also didn't interfere in some of the more serious storylines. He was kept separate, which was good. That was the best use of the Broken Matt Hardy.
And then he would fight guys like Abyss and Crazy Steve, who were also weird characters.
Also he had Jeff to do all this stuff in the ring.
Yeah,
his brother Nero. And I think that's why you need him more on the side or in the back, doing stuff with his fucking. Neo won now.
Yeah.
So the Vanguard won.
We got the Vanguard back. I mean, Neo.
You need him doing stuff like that and let Darby Allin wrestle in the ring. Or whoever if you're going to keep with the Elite, Kenny Omega in the ring.
Yeah, he's just kind of like a character. I think, especially if Taz has Brian Cage or Brian Cage has Taz, you could have Matt Hardy and Darby Allin or something like that.
Yeah.
Just kind of get him to be like, oh, you hit me with the Mike Tyson yawn.
Oh, sorry. No,
I'm just joking.
No, but this was great. Go out of your way to see this. If you have $50 lying around and you want to create a Bleacher Report thing, go be my guest.
That's also a little frustrating. I mean, that's just Bleacher Report.
Oh,
if you're buying a subscription, this is a personal pet peeve. If you're buying a subscription to something and then they're like, oh, now pay $50 more, whether it's WWE, Bleacher Report, OnlyFans, well, no matter what it is,
OnlyFans.
There are OnlyFans out there where you buy the subscription and they're like, hey, it's for $20 more to see me naked. I was like, but that's what the OnlyFans is for. But that aside, it's frustrating. Like, I already spent whatever a month on Bleacher Report to watch this. Why do I have to spend $50 more?
Oh wait, you subscribe to Bleacher Report? What do you?
No, I'm just saying that was like if you're subscribed to like a network, ESPN does it too. Like you buy you buy like ESPN Plus HD for a year, and you're expecting to see all the UFC fights. You still have to throw an additional $60 down. Like, that sucks.
Well, here's my thing about Double or Nothing. Fight TV. I have a $20 credit from Fight TV because I bought the Impact pay-per-view because I thought they were gonna have Tessa lose and because she was filthy racist. But you get rewarded.
What a 2020 for her. No one cares that she's a racist anymore. Tessa said racist things.
That really got fucking blue pass. But anyway, I ordered that paper, so I got $20 credit. So when I get this got announced, I was like, oh, I can put my $20 credit from Fight TV towards this, and I can save my Fight TV account, which is cool because I use that app. And then it's like, oh, no, you can only buy it in the United States on Bleacher Report. Like, it's kind of bullshit.
That is annoying.
AEW. Like, keep it on Fight TV. That's kind of fucking stupid. I don't like using Bleacher Report. I don't like another app having my info.
Yeah.
I would rather just stick with fucking Fight. And that's another reason why I don't think I'm going to be. Look, Daniel Bryan could leave in the main event of Double or Nothing could be Daniel Bryan versus Kenny Omega, and then they could have a match in Met Stadium with the Inner Circle versus DX. I don't know, just throwing things out here. I don't know if that would happen. But I'm not going to order it because you already burned me on this $50. And I feel like I got to teach you a lesson.
I mean, yeah, it's your money. You don't want to. A lot of people say that, and they're like, well, you're going to buy it anyway. You don't want to buy it. So
I got to be honest. This stand-up was still around when I had a gig. There's no way I would have bought this. Even if, I would have missed out on the Stadium Stampede. It would have sucked because it was the best thing they've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
But I only bought this because I'm doing this wrestling podcast instead of stand-up. And I figured I should cover this because I'm sure there's a lot of people that watch this and listen to me, that people that follow us that didn't order the pay-per-view, and they probably want to hear about it.
Yeah.
On a YouTube video tonight.
They might not be very happy with us.
Listen, I think that match was worth the $50.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Nothing else was, and I thought it was okay. I thought it was an okay show.
Being a Sheeta fan, that was also
you're a fan of that young lady.
I got to see. I got to see that. You can say the name. It is an easy name to say.
Listen, how dare you? All right, how dare you? But yeah, you're a fan of hers, and I get it. I thought Nyla hurt that match. I could see her having a great match with Chris Standler, Penelope Ford, or I don't know where Allie. I was saying this.
Where is Allie?
Yeah, Allie's a great wrestler. Actually,
oh my god, what a waste!
You know what? Leva Bates is a really good wrestler. How come she's not?
Yeah, she doesn't do anything. Hey, maybe this is the start of it. Maybe this is the start. Maybe Allie and Hikaru Shida will tear the house down in the next couple weeks.
But I remember when they hired Allie, they acted like she was going to be the head diva.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not head diva, but you know what I mean, head female wrestler. And then she kind of vanished. Now she's butchering the Blade. Now those are two guys need to go too.
I just feel like any dark character that they try and do fails miserably.
Okay, this is what you do. You get rid of the Dark Order, Shawn Spears, butchering the Blade, and then you bring in the Revolt, Rusev, Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. Fuck you, I want to see it. And Drew Gulak and Rowan.
You just replace everyone who was there with anyone who was released in WWE.
Well, those guys are all good. I mean,
they are.
I'm not saying bring in, although I would bring in Heath Slater, but I'm not saying bring him in. He can go to Impact and fight Johnny Swinger.
Oh, God. That's probably what's going to happen. Oh, yeah, Rhino's in Impact. They're going to team up again.
Oh, see, that'd be great. Dude, honestly, I would have Heath Slater beat Tessa Blanchard.
Go for it. I don't know who's gonna beat Tessa Blanchard.
They're having a tournament right now, and Hernandez is in the tournament. And I was saying, look,
God, okay.
I like intergender wrestling, and a lot of people I do, but it's gonna look so stupid if Hernandez wins that tournament. That match should be 20 seconds long. He should kick her in the stomach, border toss her into a wall. She pins her, and then you never see her again because she's dead. Because this guy's like 500 pounds. This guy's a massive man. You know what I mean?
It's very hard to suspend disbelief when it's Hernandez versus Tessa Blanchard.
That's what I'm saying. But that's my thing. Like that match, even Rhino, I feel like that match should be 2 seconds long. Like it shouldn't be. And it sucks. And that sounds. But I can't take Tessa Blanchard beating up Hernandez seriously. It just wouldn't happen. Even if she was a guy, it wouldn't happen.
Oh, Hernandez has destroyed dudes with no problem, especially
literally I would the only way I could book that is you carry her out in a stretcher, and then Josh Mash we're sorry you put Tessa Blanchard in that position. We'll never do that again. But I don't think she's ever coming back because she's dead.
Kill her off like she's Poochie from The Simpsons.
But because how could she not just be annihilated by Hernandez in 30 seconds? There's nothing unless she just runs and gets in a car,
and runs him over. Is that not?
I'm not trying to be a chauvinist because I do her versus Ace Austin. Yeah. Now that I believe.
Sami Callihan. It's a harder sell. Even with a guy like Moose, it's a harder sell.
Yeah, it's a harder sell.
But they'll figure it out.
I think they were building towards her versus Michael Elgin. That's hard too.
That is a very hard sell. I mean, that one's a little more doable, I think. Mark Elgin's he at least looks stocky and short. He's strong. He's very strong. But he looks you could give him some damage, but the other guys are like Broly from Dragon Ball. They're so big.
I know, yeah, but anyway, I'm very excited. I think the Stadium Stampede is a huge step in the right direction for this company.
Please go out of your way to watch that.
Go out of your way. I think it's a huge step in the right direction for character development, entertainment wise. More of this. Don't listen to Dave Meltzer. More of this. This is what.
Do you know if Meltzer didn't like it yet?
Well, I'm sure, but Meltzer, like, 6-star, like,
Oh,
he gave.
yeah.
I feel like he's their worst enemy because, like, he gave that tag match 6 stars. Did you
that
watch
one
that
where
match?
everyone was like, "It's the greatest tag match of all
It
time."
was. I watched it after that. It was okay. It wasn't the greatest.
It was. I mean, if Edge and Randy Orton's the greatest wrestling match of all time, something has to be the greatest tag team wrestling match of all time.
I don't know if it was that. I would say the Revival had better matches with DIY.
Yeah.
And American Alpha.
And that's not saying it's a bad tag team match.
But it's like he overpraises. He overpraises them, and I feel like okay. So I really liked. I thought Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins had a pretty good match at Money in the Bank, right?
It did, yeah.
If you tell me before I watched it, oh my God, Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre had the greatest match in WWE history. Guess what? I'm not gonna like the match because you've put the bar so high that now when it's not that great, I kind of resent both guys. Like, and I resent the person. Like that was good. It wasn't, and I kind of feel like he does that to these AEW guys, where he hypes them up so much that you've already created dislike for people that haven't watched the show because you're telling me like these guys are the best ever and everything they do is fucking gold. Everything they do, a lot of stuff they do is good. Some of the stuff they do isn't that good. This, my friends, is something they touch to turn to gold. This is the greatest thing Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks have ever done.
I think you'll have some fans who like New Japan who will disagree with you.
No, this was
incredible. This was absolutely incredible.
This is the moment that made me a Kenny Omega fan. This match. This is what he should be doing. More of this. No more 9-star matches at Tokyo.
No more Okada matches. Just
this was I would watch this over any New Japan match 500 times in a row. I loved it. It was great. Yeah, it was perfect.
I don't have. I said it before. I say it again. It's on the background right now for me. I do not have a bad thing to say about this match.
No,
it's just wonderful, beginning to end.
8 stars.
The football references were funny and good. Yeah. Just throwing that in.
And I'm not even a big football fan.
I'm not either. Yeah, and it's perfect. Might be the best cinematic match of all time.
I think it is. I think it's the greatest match in AEW history. The greatest segment in AEW history for it's not a match because because
it's a pinfall. It's a match.
It's a match. Yeah, I could see some nerds being like, it's not a match.
Yeah,
but all the praise that some of the because I do. My thing is, when we're criticizing AEW, the reason why I kind of like also harp more. Oh, let me just make sure. Hey, what are you doing? Okay, sorry. The dog. I don't know if the dog was eating something weird.
No, you gotta be careful.
I do. The reason why I'm like a little bit more critical about AEW with the coronavirus, because I do feel like a lot of wrestling journalists and wrestling insiders, I'm using give them a lot more leeway than they would give WWE or TNA or the old WCW or even AWA if we're going to go back that far. I feel like they would get taken to task a lot sooner for a lot of the shit that if those companies were doing a lot of shit that AEW does, I feel like they would get taken to task. And I think like people like Meltzer give them a leeway. And I think if you give them too much of a leeway and you let them get cocky, it could lead to a situation people could get infected, and that could have long-term effects for the wrestling business.
Yeah, I thought when there was some rumor that a UFC fighter got tested positive and they were all at the same hotel. I don't know how much of that confirmation was true, but you got to be concerned about that. You could have, if that were true, you could have potentially infected your entire roster.
Yeah,
that's there, and that's catastrophic. Would they get the John Oliver?
John Oliver talked about him.
He mentioned them in passing. I know, there were articles like he ripped on AEW. I was like, no, he did.
No, but I do feel like any time that they get criticism, it's weird because these guys pounced on any criticism. ECW, WCW, TNA got them. They kind of sidestep it. A lot of them.
Yeah.
And it's weird that they do that. I'm not saying they're getting paid. I just feel like they're so happy to have a second real company.
I feel a lot of people give AEW just the benefit of the doubt for everything. And I had it happen tonight. Someone got mad at me because I don't even remember what I said. Oh, I made fun of Vince McMahon and Dean Ambrose because Dean Ambrose had those stupid gimmicks all the time. Mm-hmm. And there's a meme out there about Rick and Morty where pretty much the point of the meme is just like, and then he turns himself into a pickle. Funniest shit I've ever seen. And that's pretty much the meme, just making fun of the Pickle Rick and the overhypedness of it. So I was like, so Vince McMahon's like, so we have this idea. We're going to turn you into a pickle. It's the funniest shit I've ever done. And then like someone was like, you just had to bring up Vince and you have to compare them. And you're just like, it's
they're very
clearly
butthurt.
fake, and it's clearly a joke. And I almost went at him, and then with everything going on this week, I was like, you know what? Let me show love and spread love and be like, hey man, I like both.
Well, I tweeted at Cody when Cody, I forget what he said, but I said, like if you really, let's set a good example, reopening Georgia. And I said, if you want to set a good example, you would have stopped having shows. You guys position yourself as a superior company and a better choice in WWE. Not WWE, not you're gonna make the same mistakes WWE made. And I got a ton of likes and retweets on it, but there were some vicious fans.
No, I can imagine.
And some vicious, and somebody said Corona's fake, and I go like, I've had a lot of my friends, family members die of it, and they go bullshit, and they really went at me, the AEW fans, and I'm like, guys, they've only been around for a year. They don't, this is not ECW. ECW is a company that rewarded brand loyalty.
Oh yeah,
with the fans. I went to the ECW shows when I was younger. And when I went to the ECW shows in '99, people had 4 or 5 years of being traveling with this company, getting to know these wrestlers. You don't get, you can't really travel with AEW wrestlers now. No. You don't get that relationship with the AEW wrestlers that you got with ECW. I got the ECW closest. I don't get it with AEW.
Yeah, and you're not, and you got a little bit with TNA in the beginning.
Yeah, are there still like rabid TNA fans? Because there used to be.
No, I think I think they're just like fans. If you like good wrestling, like you're gonna like TNA. You like the Rich Swans and the Willie Mags and the Sue Youngs, and all very talented people. But like, I used to have friends who would like only order TNA pay-per-views and ride for TNA and think that this was gonna be the promotion that's taking Vince down, which it didn't. They tried, it didn't.
I go back. Some TNA shows weren't that bad. They had an incredible roster that they did nothing with.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're not bad. Their roster is spread apart mostly in the WWE today. Yeah. So they had fantastic. They had all the keys to do it. They had all the right moves to do it, and then it just for whatever reason, I guess the business side of it did not work out. I think their last best year to me, and I don't pay as much attention anymore. It was 2016. When they had
That's because of Matt Hardy. The rest of the show is pretty abysmal.
EC3 was doing stuff, and
he was
Drew McIntyre, Galloway was doing things, and the women, the Maria Alley storyline I used to like a lot, and Rosemary and all that. So like these were like
the Decay was good, yeah.
Yeah, these were like, they have their own specific.
But 15 and 14 were pretty bad. So was 13.
Yeah, they had to get the Hogan stink off of them. And then once they got the Hogan stink, the Aces and Eights, like once that, they had to brush all of that out. And then they brought back like Jeff. Then they were like half Global Force and half not.
Oh, that was 15 and 17 was a weird year because of the Jeff Jarrett bullshit.
Yeah, and then they finally now they seem like they have their own identity. And you just know them for Impact and just doing stuff,
doing wacky shit.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, every now and then a company has like a roster and it's like the nexus of all realities. And what I mean by that is like there's people like you went with Foresight. There's people from the past. There's people from the present, and there's people that can have a big deal in the future. Yeah. WCW 98 was like that. WWE in 2002 was like that. And TNA in 2010. There are people that are killing it in AEW. There are people that main event WWE. Now, there's people that main event WWE in 2020 in TNA back then. There are people who main evented WWE in the 80s and 90s back then. There are people who main evented WCW in the 90s in that roster. There are people that were main eventing the early 2000s. In the roster, it's just such a you have AJ Styles, Raven, Tommy Dreamer, the Young Bucks, Magnus, Nigel McGuinness. You have so many like all Scott Hall, Eric Young, Sting.
It's just a hodgepodge of people.
Val Venus, the Nasty Boys.
He
Mick
was
Foley,
there, yeah.
Elijah Burke. It's just such a crazy roster. Bobby Roode, of course.
Yeah,
and like
James Storm.
And they did nothing with it. They were losing to the Nexus anyway. The Team 3D, Motor City Machine Guns, like the past, present, future are just colliding in the year 2010, and nothing happened.
It was weird business. I don't know how they just kept failing. And I'm not gonna get into the Hogan Bischoff fault thing. That's a whole nother show for a different day.
That's all.
Yeah, but overall, let's go back to the Stampede match.
Let's wrap up the AEW report. Yeah, yes. And I'll put this up so people. Overall, I thought the in-ring stuff was meh. The Stadium Stampede match was fucking fantastic. Best thing they've ever done. Your thoughts?
I liked a little bit more of the ring action than you did. I thought there were some like missed opportunities with I think like the ladder match, like you said, the ladder match got a little weird, and what else we were talking about? Some other stuff got weird. I can't remember right now. Or there was a little heat like for like MJF and stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah, Stadium is. If you need to watch one thing from this,
one thing from the entire company.
It's the Stadium Stampede match.
Yeah.
And if you also have more time, watch Hikaru Shida because she's just awesome.
Yeah. Also, the weird stuff is them saying the worst is over. It's not. The worst is not over. And if we think like that, the worst is yet to come.
That's the thing. Wrestling fans are not good. They do not care about this. Like some don't. That's not fair to say. I think a lot of diehards feel that sentiment, so they're playing off, like you were saying, playing off that sentiment. Mm-hmm. You know, people are out and about. Like I am so happy, at least in New York, it is a gloomy, rainy Memorial Day weekend. Stay your asses inside.
I will be inside tomorrow trying to finish Moana because I'm not feeling that movie.
Really?
What, Moana? You liked it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I can't. You know, The Rock takes me out of it.
Because he's The Rock in Moana?
He just takes me out of it. I don't know. They should have got someone else to do the voice. It's just.
You don't like.
There's only singing? I don't know. Do more characters show up? It just feels like it's just these two.
There's some more stuff that happens.
Okay, cool. But I like Zootopia. That was fucking dope.
That one is the one I have to watch. Maybe tomorrow.
Oh, Zootopia is so good. You're gonna be like, I'm sorry I ever say anything good about Moana. After you see Zootopia. I'm
not gonna turn on Moana after.
You turn on everything. Zootopia brings up a lot of.
Yeah, I heard it like really messing with you a little bit.
It brings up a lot of like interesting. The movies that have like, there's a lot of dark shit going on in the background in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't want to spoil the movie, but some people say Lion King, Robin Hood, and this movie are a trilogy of animals evolving and taking over the planet.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because there's a lot of little things, and I don't want to spoil it because. No. But when I looked into like the background of stuff they did, I'll say this: I think this movie takes place at the exact same time. Like it takes place at the exact same time as Planet of the Apes. Because there's no apes in Zootopia.
So they're off just.
They base the cities in this movie off cities in Malaysia.
Okay.
So what I think is that these animals have Asia, and they turn into a giant city, and the apes have the United States and New York. Because remember, at the end of the movie, they see the Statue of Liberty, but they don't know about Zootopia. That's why the apes are living in like the Stone Age.
I mean, Disney owns it all, I believe. I don't know if they don't own Planet of the Apes.
And Corona starts this. Corona wipes us out.
Just the theory has now gone weird.
The apes take over United States. Then they don't know that there's other part, and then the rest of the animals anyway. Because Lion King takes place in Africa, Asia, you know. And now this movie takes place in Africa.
This is a whole new MCU.
Yes, you gotta check this movie out.
This is phase 4. I will watch Zootopia very soon.
Okay, good. All right, so that's it. Monday I'll be back with Andrew Lee doing the Raw report. Hopefully, oh gosh, Charlotte's wrestling again. Oh my god. Anyway, that's a whole other. Are you excited for another Charlotte match?
Not really, which is unfortunate because she's very talented, but like she's just always there, so you're just tired.
I think they should have Charlotte fight the entire roster in Stadium Stampede. I think
let's do it.
Yeah. And have her win, and then also beat the Inner Circle and Young Bucks. I think that
she's gonna beat the world. Charlotte Flair, Scott Pilgrim, Charlotte Flair versus the world.
Charlotte Hogan, I think is her name. All right, Kyle. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Thank you for listening to the post show.